Yeah. So, and I've told this story a couple times in other podcasts, but I have a good friend of mine who we were together, and he was like, "Oh, I've been reading a couple of your posts. Man, you're really negative. You're sounding like Dr. Doom out there." And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of catchy. Maybe I should say that one time." And I'm kind of more of a person who just sort of, tries stuff and doesn't, necessarily worry too much about, oh, what someone's going to think about that. That's not necessarily it. So I told him, I said, you know what? I think I am going to call myself Dr. Doom in a post. He's like, oh, you'd never do that. I'm like, no, I will. And I did. And it was really tongue in cheek. And I've said this before too. Like I tend to be a very positive person, but I'm positive, but you have to understand, and this is where I think that Dr. Doom statement came from is, real estate isn't all sunshine and rainbows. And it can be a difficult, challenging business, and it's a cyclical business. It always has been, it always will be. The highs are great, the lows are hard. And so when you recognize that, it's just natural that we're going to go into these cyclical periods of time. And I think what I saw on LinkedIn was this belief of, oh, we're not going to go into a cycle. And I'm like, if you study real estate, this is just how it is. And you almost shift from being negative about cycles to more just accepting of it, right? Like
Yeah.
it's almost like the seasons of the year. Sometimes it's summer and it's really hot. If you live in other places, sometimes it's really cold in the winter. I guess I choose to live in California where there's never a cycle of
I'll
weather.
say
But my
there's not
point being
really
that,
seasons where you are.
yeah, not lessons, but these things do shift. And so you can get
Yeah.
super negative about it or you can accept it. And I found that why I sort of said that is I was trying to reach people and trying to say something that would sort of grab their attention. It's one thing I found on LinkedIn. You kind of got to do that. And for me, especially last summer, it was like, look, there's things on the horizon. And we have to all be aware of that as an industry and to be thinking about this stuff because there's some negative stuff out there. And I don't want to digress too much, but the funny part was when I would go to a real estate conference, when I would talk to people within the industry, these are the conversations we were having, but it wasn't being done on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
right? And I know people who don't even write their own posts and somebody else does. And I'll see like, hey, why'd you write that post? Like you were all positive. I just had coffee with you. And he goes, yeah, but I don't even do it. And so my point was I felt like there needed to be a little bit of a shock to this. And by saying I was Dr. Doom, I think it created more of that. And I
Yeah.
think when you think about LinkedIn, sometimes you need that.